Hi everyone, welcome back to another gardening edition of the Velvet Lounge Life. So, wow, everything is growing beautifully. What's been happening here in New England is, where I live anyway, is we seem to be getting a couple days where there's no rain at all. Then we end up with an abundance of rain. And I mean torrential downpours. And then we have this beautiful sunshine. Like, it's just so gorgeous here. The heat has let up. Thank the gods, because it was so hot. It was so hot. And now we have some reprieve from the heat, and it's just a beautiful day. I'm out here on the deck. And just enjoying sitting in the chairs. Yes, I'm under umbrellas because the sun is still pretty intense, but it's just a really, really, really nice day. And I have several errands to run, but I want to get a quick video in just to show you guys the progress of some of my container gardening and some of the other things that I'm growing. These are the collard greens. I have cut and harvested from these twice so far. Twice, people. So if you cut or harvest the leaves that are underneath, then new leaves will grow on the top. And also I've harvested from the mustard greens one time, only once. And I really tried to clean at least half of them out, and look at how they've popped back up. Next year or next season, maybe even this season, I might get in one more crop of mustard greens. And if I do that, I'm going to plant them on their own. I will not mix them in with the collards like I did this year. So next year, for example, this will be all collards. I'll have 3 rows of them. Overcrowd, people, overcrowd. It is a good thing. Thank you to my Australian friend. I don't know if I could catch our little resident. We have 3 bunny colonies that have been, there you go, you can see him, that have joined us this season. He's right at the edge of the woods, right there. And because all of this going back, I don't know how far, there's a brook back there. It goes back to the brook as a property line. That's all ours. So yeah, we get all sorts of wildlife and visitors, which is always fun until they start eating your veg and your fruits and things that you're trying to grow. But you have to share with nature. So what I told myself is just get over it. That's just the way it is. Over here, I moved the celery to a place where it's a little bit more shady, but also when it rains, it tends to get more rain over here, and celery loves rain. And I have cut off of the celery leaves here at least 4 or 5 times. I use the leaves in salads. You could use them in soups. If you're baking poultry, for example, put some in the cavity of the poultry. It just has such good, strong flavor. Dry it. I dry the celery leaves and use them, in a million different ways, the same way you would use parsley, for example. And it's just so good. I actually harvested all the peppers off of this plant except for this one, because it wasn't red enough. It's almost there. And the hot peppers are all starting to see all these tiny little buds. All of those are going to be hot peppers. And I've harvested hot peppers only once so far, but they're all starting to come in. Like I said, all those buds that you see, all of those are starting to turn into peppers. So there must be at least, I'm going to say, 40 of them. So I should have enough where I could pickle them and have them for the winter. And of course, more bell pepper growing in. I've harvested off of these plants. I mean, every time we made a salad, we come out here and pick some of the peppers. So multiple times. Once again, some celery that I had put in there. The onion, you just cut the tops off, you use them, taste just like onion. As a matter of fact, I'll pull one up and you'll see it has the little onion bud at the bottom. You could actually rinse that off and eat it. Look, some are trying to come out of the soil, so I'm going to cover those. But yeah, so tasty, the green part of it. So it's scallions, if you think about it. That's exactly what it is. But like I said, it's something that you could cut off of. Look, we have a visitor. I don't know what kind of bee that is, but it's really fat. And I am allergic to bee venom, so I don't want to get bitten. And look at this cutie. I have a wee tomato. And where you see yellow flowers, tomatoes should grow. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to snap off a branch here at the very bottom. Snap it off. Recycle by throwing it in the yard. He'll get mulched in. Our lawn mowing guy comes tomorrow. And as a matter of fact, threw the baby onion out there so that nature can enjoy it. And here, this plant is struggling to survive. The big boy. Everywhere you see yellow flowers, tomatoes should grow, but this plant keeps getting overwatered from our torrential downpours. And here, I harvested the seed on this. If you remember, I said I wanted that to go to seed. It did. The little plants in there, I don't think they're going to get any bigger. They're supposed to be collards. You saw how big my other collards are. Over here, we have the Swiss Chard that I grew from seed. I simply broadcast the seed down a few rows and quickly it germinated. And here we are now, just a couple weeks later. Great progress. And here is more collard green that I saved from the rabbit. So I took it out of the yard, put it in the planter. These are doing much better than those in the small pot, as you can see. The Scotch Bonnet pepper plant, I don't know if I see, oh, I see tiny little wee tiny buds. So there are buds on there. I wondered if it would get it. Oh, and look at that. We have one curling downward. So there's a Scotch Bonnet baby. I'll get at least, I don't know, looks like 5 or 6 off of it, maybe more. Oh, and look at this tiny, this is supposed to be cauliflower. Obviously, it's not going to turn into a big head of cauliflower this year. So what I'll do is probably harvest the greens and use those in a salad. Yes, cauliflower greens. You have to slice them thin. And another thing you can do is blanch them to soften them up. But if you slice them thin, you should be good. Look at this moss. It is so pretty. It's like a cranberry color, bright green. It reminds me of Christmas. And it's so soft when you step on it. There's my slipper and my pajama pants. Yes, I'm out here in my pajama pants. I have on a slip. Yes, like the 1930s bombshell version. I have on a very long silky robe with red trim. I'm living the life right now and thankful for it. You have to fight for your life and you have to enjoy every day. So here we have, what's on top of you? I'm going to flick it off. Hopefully. But anyway, we have this, what I call my alien Dr. Seuss onion plant. So watch, I'll show you how tall it is. Well, this is a dogwood tree that we're growing here. It's almost as tall as a dogwood tree. Watch. Do. So tall, so sturdy. Every like torrential rainstorm that we've had, tropical depression, nothing. That thing is still standing. I don't know if you can see through here, but look, from the interior, this is called a fiery bush. Because of the red leaves that form, especially in the fall, bright, incredible red. And I don't know if you can see the tint of red on the leaves here. absolutely stunning in color. I'll have to show you that this fall. And I think I told you guys we decided not to cut this part of the tree cut down. It's we used to call this a grandparents tree. We still call it the grandparents tree because it was this old tree that was just trying to hang on and make it to freedom, just like my great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents and even my grandparents, you know, had to go through a lot just to survive and live and be happy every day without being accosted. Ooh, over here I have another baby dogwood tree. So if you want a dogwood tree planting like this, please let me know in the comments, and I'm going to do a drawing, and I will, for free, send someone a tiny dogwood tree. And if you're lucky and you do it the right way, your dogwood tree will end up looking like this. And it turns out to be full of beautiful ivory white flowers. There's some right there, I think. I have it in the viewfinder, right there. And what you see in the middle, that's the fruit, which I always talk about, the fact that you can consume it. And here I have some gladiolas coming in. Those should be in by August. An oriental lily, doing well. You can see the pods are starting to turn color because these are a white and maroon color when they grow in. And over here I have my onion, more onion I should say, that's growing in. I purchased bulbs that were on clearance for just like a couple dollars. There were like tons of them. I decided to plant just a few of them just to make sure they would actually grow. And guess what? They actually grew. So when you're looking for bulbs, look for bulbs like that are off season and save them for the next year. The price is like 75 to 80% lower than what you would pay when they're in season. So I've done that with 90% of my gardening over all of these years. There's a spider. And yeah, it works. My neighbors are probably, because someone just drove by, are looking at me like, what is she doing?